I went to the beach about a week ago. I'm back in Florida for a few weeks. I have to go back to Argentina soon for a hearing, but I was so depressed down there I decided to come home for a few weeks. Anyway, so I was at the beach for a little while, and then it was nice. I was getting tan. I tried to get a little bit of a tan. And, just relaxing. And so it was getting into the afternoon, around happy hour, and I thought to myself, okay, why don't I just, I had already dried off. I went in the ocean. It was really nice. And I dried off. And then I said, okay, I'm going to go, get a drink somewhere. Just thinking, I don't drink very often, but, occasionally I like to have a little cocktail or something. And so I went to a place called Wet Willie's, it's called. And it has just kind of slurpy drinks, and inside the drink there's alcohol. It's a really fun place. They were all 20-year-olds in there. Well, they had to be 21 to get in because they were carding at the door, but everybody was like between 21 and 30. I mean, I really felt a little out of place, but I really felt like having one of those slushy drinks. So I said, oh, who cares, So they were carding people at the door, and when he got to me, he just waved me in. He didn't even ask for my. I was kind of disappointed. I was hoping he would card me, but but anyway, so I walked up to the bar and I ordered. They have names, like one is called Take a Cab, and the other one is called Sex on the Beach, and another one is called. The flavors are. I guess I could look it up on the internet. They had 4 flavors. So I ordered a mix of 2 of them, and the largest cup, because I knew they had alcohol in them, but I figured, okay, it's mixed with this slush, it's a lot of water. I didn't really think it was going to be as strong as it turned out being. My goodness. So I drank it pretty quickly because it was hot outside. It's summertime, and I'm in Florida. You can imagine it was a really sunny day. And even though it was afternoon, it was still, and I just enjoyed it. So I drank it a little too fast, I guess, and those drinks are strong. So I started feeling kind of, woozy, and I was like, oh gosh, thank goodness I'd taken the bus to the beach. There's a little train, and then from the train I take the bus. It's pretty reliable transportation. So thank goodness I had taken I like to take the bus so I don't have to pay for parking. It ends up being a lot cheaper, and since I don't have any schedule, I'm not working right now. So that was fine. So I said, oh my gosh, I better find out where the bus stop is. I didn't even know. I know the bus stop to get off at the beach, but I didn't know where the bus stop was to go home. So here I am, pretty tipsy. I mean, I wasn't sloshed drunk. I mean, I at least think that I could still. But that's the thing. Even when I have gotten sloshed in other times of my life, I'm still very articulate. So people can't. They sometimes can't even tell. But here I was pretty tipsy. I mean, I'd say I was probably a little more tipsy than what's respectable on the street. But what could I do? I was well enough to know I've got to get to the bus stop and try to get home before I get sick, because I was starting to I wasn't feeling nauseous yet, but I knew that probably the full effect hadn't hit me yet. So I started, walking up to Collins Avenue, and which is not the drive by the ocean, it's one over. And so there I am, just kind of walking along and figuring out. I'll just ask people. And I was asking people, do you know where the bus stop is to go downtown? And no, nobody knew. Like, oh, I don't know, because everybody drives. Nobody takes the bus to the beach. So I was like, oh goodness, what am I gonna do? And I'm like, I was just walking, and and as I'm walking along, there's a guy with sunglasses leaning on a car, just on the sidewalk, like right on the edge of the sidewalk, leaning on a car. And I'm walking along, and he had sunglasses on, so I didn't know if he was looking at me or not, but I felt like he was looking at me. It was kind of an older man, I could tell, because his hair was all gray, but he has a full head of hair. And ordinarily I would just ignore, that. It's a dirty old man, I just kind of felt he was looking at me, even though I couldn't tell for sure because he had his eyeglasses on, but his sunglasses. But since I was slightly tipsy, you tend to be a little friendlier maybe, or some of us are, and more likely to talk to people. So I went up to him. I said, "Oh, hi, is that your car?" No, I said, oh yeah, I did. I said, "Hi, is that your car?" And he answers, "Why, you want to buy from me?" So right there I could tell he had some kind of an accent. It wasn't a Latino accent. So I said, "Oh, I don't even remember all too well because I was a little tipsy, but no, I wasn't a little tipsy. Let's be honest. I was very, very tipsy. I mean, I wasn't, keeling over, but I'm just trying to, but so let's get back to the story. So he asked me if I wanted to buy it from him, kind of like joking. I said, "Oh, yes, how much is it?" And he said, "You give me $3,000, I give you a car." And I said, "That's not your car, is it?" And just, you say dumb stuff when you're drunk. So he said, yes, my car, you not believe. It just, I could tell by then he was an accent from somewhere. So I said, "Oh, yes, where are you from?" And he told me of a Middle Eastern country. I don't want to get too detailed, but it was one of the Middle Eastern countries. And so we just kept talking, and then I don't know how we slipped into it, but I started telling him about my divorce. And I started crying because I guess, I had the alcohol. It kind of depresses you. You get a little, I was feeling this guy was nice. We started talking. And I told him about my problems, how I went through this whole divorce, and then it turns out it wasn't even valid in the country, because the divorce was done here in Florida, and I was married in Florida, but we lived in Argentina for 10 years, so I really needed to get divorced in Argentina, because I went down there, to sort things out, and as it turns out, I couldn't sort out the things I wanted to, because it turns out I'm still married. So I was just, letting it all out. I was just, I've really been trying not to cry lately, because I'm a grown woman now, and I just have to deal with life as it comes. But, I was like, it's like, just, I had to leave Argentina because I was getting so depressed, and the hearing isn't until probably September. I'm going back in August, but just in case the hearing comes up earlier, because they don't know the date yet, but my lawyer thinks it's going to be around August or September. So then he says, "Oh, don't cry. I not like cry. I not like here. Why don't I order?" And he ordered some espresso coffee. I guess he could. I told him, "Oh, I was over at Wet Willie's," and I tried to talk to the bartender, and because I was telling him how I wanted to tell all my problems to the bartender, but he was too busy. Because, in the movies, you tell all your problems to the bartender. So, so he got me a coffee, and we talked a little bit more, and, he was just a nice guy, So So finally, and then I asked him if he happened to know where the bus, well, it turns out he's really sweet because he said, "Hey, are you driving? I hope you're not driving home." And I told him, no, no, I took the bus, but I don't know where the bus stop is. And do you happen to know? And he said, oh, yes, I think it's blah, blah, blah. And he told me the corner where he thought the bus stopped, which turns out it was right. He was correct. So, and before I left, I wrote my number down, all like in bad handwriting, because I was, not concentrating well. And that's it. And I got on the bus. I was like really starting to feel sick. Like on the bus ride home, I was starting to get kind of queasy. Like I felt like I might vomit, but thank goodness I didn't. And I, got to the train and I made it home fine. I went to bed. And then the next morning I woke up, hangover, dry heaves. I mean, I was so sick. Like for the whole morning, I was recuperating. It was just horrible. Oh my gosh. And I hadn't done that in a long time. I mean, to the point where I'm having dry heaves. They're just like the worst. Oh. So then I started recalling, oh my gosh, I can't believe I talked to this guy that I don't even know, and I don't even know his number. I don't even, know. And I remembered giving him my number, and I'm like, oh my God, But I was like, okay, it's my cell phone number. That's the good thing. If I'm ever being silly and giving my phone number out, at least it's my cell phone. But he actually sent me a text in the later afternoon. He said, "Hey, are you okay? It's Mike." Mike is the English version of his name. He gave me another name, but I just said Mike because it's easier to pronounce. And he calls himself Mike here in America. And so he works in one of those beach shops. That's what he was doing, leaning against the car. He was having a cigarette outside of a shop where he works. Like it's a shop that sells clothes and beach stuff, hats and beachwear and sandals and thong flip-flops. So he said yes, and then I responded, "Oh, hello, how are you?" In my text, "Thank you so much you were so helpful yesterday." And he said, "Yes, please stop by shop again." Well, I'm saying it in his accent. It was a text, but he said, "Why don't I stop by the shop again to see him now that I'm not drunk? He'd like to meet me sober." Which is kind of nice because most guys would say, "This girl is just disgusting. She's drunk. Please get away from me." And he's like, "Yeah, I'd kind of like to meet you sober." Which really surprised me. So I said, "Oh, well, I won't be going to the beach today, but, maybe some other time I'll go, I'll stop by." So, but of course I wanted to go by because I didn't even remember what he looked like too much. I remembered thinking his face was nice, but I didn't really remember much else, and that he was very short. He's about my height. And he was kind of rugged. I remembered enough. I knew he was Middle Eastern and all that, but I kind of didn't really remember exactly. I just remembered liking his face. And so I went back, like a few days later. I went to the beach again. I didn't go to the beach to sunbathe. I actually went to, the shops and I stopped in there. And he definitely looked older than I had seen him without sunglasses, because as we were talking, he took the sunglasses off. So, but he was, and I knew he was older, but when I saw him, and now that I was sober, he really was older than I had remembered. So, but still had the same nice face. And I actually don't know how old he is. I'm thinking he's probably in his late 60s. He won't tell me his age. So he has a full head of hair though. So, that's good. That makes him look younger. So maybe he's even older. And he just looks younger. But so we went out on a date. We went to, where did he well, it wasn't a fancy, because we went that evening to just like a place where, what did I order? It's just like a place where you're sitting outside and it's not an expensive place. It wasn't, it was next to a Domino's Pizza in a strip mall. We went to a strip mall. It wasn't really a date, I guess. It was more of a, yeah, let's hang out and eat something. What did I even order? I don't even remember. Oh, I ordered a tuna salad. Right, because I told him that I try to eat vegetarian. And he said, oh, I eat vegetarian too. But of course, he said it the whole time with his accent. I'm not going to try to copy his accent every time But, so it turns out we had a few things in common. But, I mean, he doesn't want a relationship. I mean, I shouldn't be thinking this so early on, but I always do. Like early on, I determine whether or not this guy is relationship material. And I can tell he's not. First of all, his age, which doesn't matter to me actually, because I was thinking if I'm competing against 30-year-olds for the men in their 50s, then maybe I should be going for men in their 60s and 70s, because that's the same age difference. And I'm competing against 70-year-old women for the few men that are around. So, I mean, I'm not against dating older men now. I mean, I used to say, okay, no, my cutoff is, 50 something. But now I'm thinking, no, why not? I mean, if it's a youthful enough man, and I mean, the 50-year-olds are dating the 30-year-old women, maybe I really should expand my, age. I mean, I know people say, oh, then you're going to end up being his nurse, But, well, okay, at least I'll have a few good years of Bo Derek lived with her husband up until he died. And he was, I think, I don't know how much older he was, like 20 or 30 years older. And, she had a happy life, and then he passed away, and now she has another boyfriend. So, sometimes it works out. It really doesn't matter. It matters what you think, So anyway, I'm open to it, but I don't think he's open to, because he knows he's a hot commodity. He's a man with a job, and he's got a full head of hair. I mean, not that it should matter, because it doesn't matter. I'm nothing against gentlemen who are losing their hair, because it's very normal. It's very abnormal for a man in his 70s or late 60s to have a full head of hair, And I don't think I really think it's natural. I don't think that he had anything done. But it makes him look so much younger, probably. I don't think it's fake or like a toupee or anything. But, what was I going to say? But anyway, he was telling me how he likes his freedom, and he's only in the U.S. for a few months out of the year to run the shop, and then he goes back to the Middle East, and he stays over there, and so who knows, he might have a wife or wives over there. So, I mean, but, he's been calling, and we went out one more time after that. But, all right, so he's just someone that I have on the back burner for now. And plus, I told him I have to go back to Argentina for 2 months, so... And he said, oh, by the time you get back, I might be in the Middle East by then, because I only come, through the summer and into the early fall. So, there are a lot of things that are pointing towards that this isn't going to turn into anything other than just a nice, hi, how are you? And, well, he said he would stay in touch, so that's fine. But I can't really put all my eggs into that basket. So I've signed up for a speed dating this Wednesday. I'm going to a speed dating event. So we'll see. I've never done that before. So I'll see how that is. Some people have told me that's a lot of fun. That, it's fun and it's funny. And so I'll just take it as it comes. Since I know I have to go back to Argentina for 2 months, I honestly can't take anything very seriously right now anyway, even if I did meet the Mr. Perfect. And so, and plus I'm still married, which kind of messes my stuff up. I mean, I won't be for much longer, but I've got to, go through the whole rigmarole now. I guess that's all that I have to talk about my dating life. I guess I'll have more to talk about after the speed dating. I'll let you all know how that went. Okay, thanks for listening. Bye.